Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's show. Tonight we're gonna be continuing our epic playthrough and hopefully we are going to upgrade the R&D. So here's the thing, I will go quickly through what happened on last stream. If you haven't watched it, I highly suggest that you do because that one was an absolute banger. So let's go ahead and show you what happened. So primarily, we visited Minmus, which is a huge deal because we got a lot of signs from there. And we were able to finally unlock some of key technologies, for example, like solar panels and all that good stuff. And tonight we're going to continue on that. And we actually started building some pretty impressive crafts here. So this is the Utilis vehicle that we launched to Minmus, and this one is an absolute banger because it is capable of trips both to Minmus, to Mon. It can orbit them, it can land them, it can do so many stuff, which is really incredible. I really like that this design happened to be quite versatile in what it can do. And also we started our first bus series with the current iteration of Mark III of our space bus. So the goal of these space buses is just to provide cheap transportation to orbit, from orbit, transferring resources, that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, we are quite far away from technologies that would allow us building SSTOs. So the way we can do about this is just building a relatively cheap rocket that can still do quite a lot. And as you can see, this rocket is fairly expensive. It's like 85,000, but because pretty much the entire upper stage gets returned, it's actually not that expensive. Alright, and here's the thing. We are fairings. We don't even have fairings yet. I don't think we even have researched them. No, we haven't. We haven't researched fairings, so that's unfortunate. So here's the thing. Unfortunately, we do have a limit on our contract, and there are like two strategies that we can do from here. Strategy number one is we could actually upgrade the mission control facility that will allow us to basically select all of these contracts, and then we can continue with them. The problem with that is that we're quite close to upgrading our R&D facilities, and I really want to do that because that'll allow us to research some really cool technologies. For example, precision engineering is definitely something that we want. Or, for example, advanced electrics will allow us to have proper solar panels, because what we have now are these like small photovoltaic panels, which are okay, but you have to like slap 100 of them, which is definitely suboptimal. So here's the deal. Because we do have one of these contracts to get some science from the surface of Mun, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna land the Utilis. We currently have two spacecraft in orbit. This is the space bus that we have chilling there, and this is the Utilis, which is in a high elliptical orbit. Now, originally I launched Utilis with the hope that we will get to Mun orbit because we just needed to complete a contract, and then from Mun orbit we'll get to Minmus. Unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna be really easy to do, because we do have a lot of contracts regarding Mun right now. So I just thought, why not complete them, especially because we can just land Utilis on the surface of Mun, and then if we have a contract to, for example, plant a flag, we can just go ahead and instantly do that right out of the bat, because, I mean, we have resources for like 50 days or something like that. And we can finally start launching multiple missions, and just doing more stuff at the same time. You can find the entire mod list in the description. There's a link. Yeah, I should probably put a disclaimer somewhere about that. Yeah, and yes, it's career. Alright, so here's the thing. We want to land this beast on mine, and I'm actually going to be showing off one of the cool features that trajectories have. If you right-click this thing, you can actually open up this menu, which will allow you, for example, to see trajectories for fixed objects. And if we now like to set a landing point, we can actually set a specific landing point. There are like ways you can do that. Right now, I don't really care where we land as long as it's somewhere within this huge crater, because I just want to get signs from there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start my engines here, and as you can see, it'll show us the precise point where we're going to land. I'm just gonna keep burning until this red dot is gonna be somewhere in this crater, which will allow me to land exactly there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. As you can see, it shows us the path. It's very important to note that this path is relative to the object, which is why it has like this wiggly shape to it. If you know Principia, this is kind of somewhat in that direction. It's a lot simpler, I know, but it can get you starting, actually. Alright, so let's go ahead and time warp here, pretty much to almost the descent here. The previous stream we were playing quite a lot with cockpits, not gonna bother with that for now. Just gonna use simple outside views, but if you want, I can show you the cockpits. We have them installed here. We actually, let me, by the way, lock the staging. We have a bunch of cameras that we can set up. We can view stuff from here. Really, really cool stuff. So anyway, let's go ahead and proceed with the landing. As we get closer, we should have... Yeah, there we go. We have an impact estimator on the bottom, which will tell us how much do we have to burn for and how long until impact, basically. So what you want to do is you place the impact roughly to the estimated burn time. You can actually put it slightly lower because as you decelerate, the impact will obviously be postponed. But we're gonna start the engines here. It doesn't really matter. I don't care for a best award, like best efficiency awards of the year or something like that. Anything that can land me within reasonable precision is alright. And actually, I'm gonna start reducing horizontal velocity slightly more aggressively here, because I can see a very good landing spot here, and I would very much love to land somewhere in this region. That looks really, really good. So I'm just gonna burn slightly here, just correct our trajectory, and there we go. That looks like a decent landing spot. And like I said, we will be burning pretty much the entire time because we do have limited ignitions. You definitely don't want to fiddle around with shutting or starting engines on and off when you are descending. Okay, what mod are cameras? I actually do have a video on my channel explaining that. You can just subscribe. Go check that out. Alright, so gotta not miss the landing here. That's kind of important. Yeah, it's hull cam. There are like several mods, in fact. You can do multiple of them if you want to. Okay, I'm just gonna point our ASS to just up because we're starting to rotate quite aggressively here. And gonna reduce the throttle even further. Can we please finally get a landing? Thank you very much. This took absolutely ages because I decelerated quite aggressively. But it is what it is. Okay, and the Eagle has landed. Alright, so now we are on the surface of Mun. We have started collecting data, and one of the contracts that we have is to transmit or recover scientific data from Mun. So here's the thing. Unfortunately, the antennas that we have, and I actually had to go ahead and shut them down between the streams because they actually used a ton of our oxygen hydrogen because we don't have solar panels on this spacecraft. We only have fuel cells. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to use them to transmit all of the information. So I'm just going to mark only the telemetry report to send. And I'm going to activate the antenna that's targeted to mission control. I'm going to activate that. I'm going to transmit the data. quickly. And once that is completed, we will finish the contract, and from there on, we're gonna do a bunch more rather easy missions. I had an absolute nightmare today with my homework. I had to do a bunch of machine learning, which sucked the soul out of me. So that's why the stream might not be as there's not gonna be a lot of emotions. I'm gonna be a little stupid at times, but that's just the unfortunate truth that I have to cope with because I still have my exams coming up. All right, so let's go ahead and go to Space Center. I think we have completed the contract. Yep, we got our rewards, and now I'm just gonna go ahead, accept a few more contracts. Like I said, we do have our space bus in orbit, so we can just go ahead and use that to save a bunch of Kerbals. Just to, what's up with that comment? We can go ahead and complete a few more contracts here and there. Right, let's go to mission control, and I think I'd like to save this guy from orbit. Random guy. Alright, let's go to tracking station. Now, unfortunately, our space bus, even though it's a Mark III, it's not perfect. And the problem that it has is actually, it's a rather weird problem. It's not the design of it that's wrong. It's actually, it doesn't really consider what if it has to dock to a vehicle that doesn't have a docking port. The problem is that it doesn't carry a spare docking port with it. So it, for example, it can't dock to Utilis because that thing doesn't have a docking port, which is a bit of a problem. And for these reasons, it's a little annoying that we'll have to rely on launching another vehicle here, because that's just what we have to do. It does have a bunch of antennas though, which is kind of cool. Alright, you know what? Let's go ahead and I think we'll go into a slightly more elliptical orbit here, just to kind of catch up, or rather slow down, for this crap. Alright, where's my apoapsis at? It's 80 kilometers. Gonna increase that to about 150-ish. Don't want to go too high, not to hit the radiation belts, which are definitely a problem for us. Don't want to get too close to those guys, especially the inner belt, which is an absolute furnace. I'm just gonna time warp a little bit, wait till we slow down enough, circularize, well, sync our orbits rather. This will take a few rotations, but I mean, rotations are rather fast. They're like only several minutes worth, so it's not going to be too big of an issue. Alright, we are closing in. Actually, you know what? Let me focus on Kerbin here, so I can stop rotating too hard. Alright, just time warp the rest. Gotta not over time warp, because overshooting is a little annoying. Okay, and I think that on the next rotation we'll be able to perform our final sync. Yeah, alright, let's move to retrograde here. And I think we'll just burn slightly to just kind of sync our orbits here. Hopefully this intersection point is where we will meet. Somewhere there. We do have RCS thruster, so we can do finer control. I just want to land somewhere in the ballpark, and I actually nailed it. 400 meters. That is a personal record. Okay, just gonna time warp right there. And from there, we're just gonna retrieve the space bus, because, like I said, I do wanna... A, we have tourists there, which are chilling slightly longer than they would like. And B, I do want to recover the astronauts, just so we can mark both of these contracts as completed. This is going to be nice to have. Alright, let's time warp here a little bit. Yep, we got a success. And who is it? Oh, it's pilots. How would I know that? Maybe I had a bit of foreshadow between the streams. Yeah. I do know that it is a pilot because I really wanted to have another pilot, and so I checked which one of the contracts will give us a pilot. Slightly cheating, but, you know, this is what it is. It's just that otherwise the streams would have been kind of annoying because I just would have to complete more missions than I normally love to. This way I can just move faster. So we gotta ramp things up. I do want to get to interplanetary stuff within like 10 episodes. That would be kind of cool. Although, judging from our current rate, might not be able to hit that mark. Because it is kind of hard. Interplanetary is hard. You need a lot of stuff. Alright, okay, let's slow down here. And we'll just EVA our way to the docking ports. Well, not the docking port, just the entrance. Right there. I can see it. It's right there. Alright. That is a success. Alright, and now we're just gonna return these guys. Now I will make another rotation here. Okay, can I unset target? Thank you very much. Now we'll make another rotation here. The reason for that is that I want to land as close to the island airfield, or rather the KSC, as possible. So for these reasons, I will actually time warp till we're near there, and then I'm gonna use the rest of my Delta V to just kind of burn quite aggressively, actually. Just make sure that we land as close as possible. Alright, let's go ahead, start the engine here. Can I please get the engine running? Thank you. Alright, now, again, we're gonna use trajectories to estimate our landing spot. Yeah, because, yeah, that's the reason why I'm gonna be landing as close to KC as possible, because the closer I land, the more stuff I will be able to recover, or rather, the cheaper it's going to be to recover it, and thus we will return more funds. Which is definitely valuable in this case, because this spacecraft does have a lot of resources. We haven't used most of them, actually. But like I said, we could leave it in orbit for longer, but A, I want to return the tourist, and B, which is probably the bigger reason, I want to launch the Mark IV, which will have just some more stuff in its base, slightly better upgrade. Alright, so we'll finish burning this stage pretty soon here. And then we'll detach, fire the next one, have these boosters. How am I feeling today? Well, decently well. Kind of tired a little from the homework, but better. I'm starting to feel better as the stream goes on. It gives me strength, not anxiety. Like the homework. Homework gives me anxiety, which is not cool. Alright. Let's make this landing. Don't know if there's much to comment, except that we have to switch the parachutes because I have them slightly wrong staged. Okay. I won't be time warping too hard here. The reason for that is because, well, this spacecraft unfortunately does have a bit of a tendency to rotate over. It does have a few defensive measures from that. For example, we do have these decouplers, so we can shed away the the outer parts. But yeah, it's a bit toasty, but it's gonna be fine. It does have a lot of reaction wheels for that extra stability during descent. And like I said, we are aiming for a rather good descent here. We're gonna land somewhere in KC. Not really like helipad accuracy, but still pretty accurate.
Service Arbom in the Aston Station.
Aw, that's cute. That's cute. Okay, you know what, let's save the game here, because I am getting slightly paranoid. Let's deploy landing legs here. And yeah, this spacecraft is reasonably well suited. I actually think that we're going to land on the runway. That's gonna be kind of cool. That is gonna be quite funny. Okay, didn't know we can do that. Like, I was planning for decent accuracy, but my estimations for accuracy were like within, you know, tens of kilometers, not like tens of meters. Well, actually, we'll land on the edge here. So I'll start the engines here, just to kind of retro burn. They will barely have any thrust to weight ratio, but it will still provide at least some. Okay, and the Eagle has landed once again. Let's recover the vessel. I wonder if we'll get 100% return. That's gonna be quite funny. Because like I said, the closer you land, the more you return, and we got 100% value. There we go. That's 100% accuracy. I'm an absolute god. Alright, so now, like I said, we do have a bunch of these contracts to rescue guys, and we also have this contract to explore mine. So there are several options that we can do. Number A, we can just time warp till this offer expires and we can try to get another offer. The problem with that approach is that there's a decent chance that we're gonna get the same offer or something that we don't really want. So I'm just gonna go ahead and actually do this contract. That's fine. Because, like I said, the space buses are designed for crew rotations, that kind of stuff. So we can just launch them towards mine, and we will be able to use them at a later date if we need to do that. So that's gonna be fine. Okay, no, I don't want the time warp this time. I will actually accept this contract. And also I'll accept this contract to just recover some dude from orbit, because we can just do that. It's not gonna be hard. Why not do 2 missions in one if we have the ability to do so? So like I said, we will launch 2 of these buses here. And it's gonna be pretty much the same thing with just a minor upgrade. I just want to fill up the cargo base. So first of all, I do really want to start carrying around a docking port, just in case we have to dock to something that for some reason doesn't have a docking port, or we need to dock to something that unfortunately doesn't have any slots for docking available. So there's that. We also have these antennas. I actually don't think we need all of these antennas. I think we can go with like just one, actually. Just to shed away some extra mass, some extra costs here. There's no real reason to carry so many with us. Alright, so with that out of the way, yeah, let's name it Mark IV, because it is going to be an upgrade, technically. Alright, so what else? What other problems have I faced? So another thing, might wanna carry a few strut connectors with me. Just so that I have the ability to strut the vehicles, if I do want to do that. I know we can use auto struts, but I do like the using the regular struts just in case someone wants to feel a little bit of nostalgia for the times when auto struts were not a thing. Alright, I think that's kind of it. I don't think there's really much that we need to do right now. Probably, oh yeah, we definitely want to carry a bunch of repair kits. That is, like, for sure. Let's actually fill the rest of it. I want to probably carry 1 slot free, just in case. And yeah, that'll be kind of it. I think this is good enough. Yeah, okay, just a minor upgrade. No big changes here, just minor modifications. All right, and with that out of the way, let's go ahead and launch it. So like I said, the group here was going to be just the Valentina. Who's going to go alone here, and she's going to go to Mun. By the way, let's time our launch so that we're going to be near the piece of junk that we have to recover the new Kerbal from. Alright, so we do have one of these scraps, and unfortunately this one is the old one, and this one is the one that we are currently aiming for. I'm just gonna time warp till it is reasonably close to KC, somewhat behind it. Yeah, I feel like 90 degrees of an angle is just what we need. I don't know what's with the Jackie, the deer, and some strong Russian words. Let's name it like that. I don't know why. Oh wait, I forgot to ask the scientists to leave. Damn it. I'm gonna have to revert here. Alright, I am truly sorry, but I only have space for one Kerbal on this flight. Like I said, I just want to leave them somewhere in Mun's orbit, just dock them somewhere there, leave them for a better time. Because, I mean, we will need to build space stations, and space stations will require quite a lot of crew space. Just literal, actual space for the crew. And I don't even mean, like, crew slots. I more mean just the raw volume. Oh my... I'm just reading the comments here. Okay. Okay, just so you know, what you're doing there is pretty much the exact transliteration of the curse words in Russian. How would I know that is because I use it sometimes. So, just so you know, might not be a good idea in your Russians. Alright, let's launch this thing. That was kind of fun. Okay, start the engines here. Stage the Separatrons once I'm sure that everything's running. And like I said, I really like this design that we have. Most of the love comes actually from the fact that I absolutely adore these like tiny fins on the boosters here, because they just give a lot of stability to the boosters, and they also, because they're like angled at a small angle, they push them away. Similar to Separatrons, but they only work in atmosphere, unfortunately. But here's the thing, in space, you don't really care that the boosters might, you know, detach and then come back at you. In atmosphere, that's definitely a problem, and that is where these perform really well. You just kind of push the boosters away in spacecraft, which is definitely a good thing to do. So like I said, I'm just gonna stage them soon here, and I'd like you to watch just how they will stage. Yoink, and see, they just kind of fly away very nicely. Really good. I mean, the earlier launches that we had, basically every single time the boosters would go to the sides and then just come ramming back down, and you just pray to God that your vehicle has slightly more thrust to weight ratio to just kind of escape that backlash. Yeah, well, I mean, Jacket is here. You can Google what it means, but it's basically the equivalent of the F word. Pretty much exactly. Which is why I was kind of puzzled by why you would use that a lot. I mean, I do speak Russian, so, and I don't really hide that or something, so I just thought maybe you know that I know Russian, and it's kind of a inside joke-ish. So I just thought it's something like that, but no, okay. Alright, so we are going to be accelerating here, taking a rather low-ish ascent profile this time. But, I mean, we are fairly aerodynamic. I mean, nowhere close to perfect, but it is good enough so that I don't really have to worry. Yeah, SRBs crashing into the main engine is definitely a problem. I was doing my best to prevent that in the earlier missions, but I mean, there's just so much you can do with like early technologies, and especially with part count limitations. I mean, you can put these small fins, you can angle them slightly, and that'll gently push them away, which is perfect, but that doesn't really work when you have like 30 part limit. Especially in Kerbalism, when you have to account for all the oxygen tank, food supplies, fuel cells, all that kind of stuff, just kind of blows your part count out of the water, meaning that you just have to use a lot more parts for missions that you normally use if you don't have like Kerbalism installed. Nah, no worries, mate. I mean, you didn't know, so definitely not going to be a problem for me. I was just, it was more weird to me. I was like, why are you doing that? It was just slightly weird, but now I just totally understand what was going on, so it's definitely fine. Okay, I will push slightly higher right now because we don't have a very good thrust to weight ratio, and we are kind of reaching orbital speeds here, and we're still in relatively dense atmosphere. And because we have these landing legs, these solar panels, I kind of don't want to accelerate too hard here. So just going to try to force a slightly higher ascent profile. Although it is going really low as of right now, but it's actually more efficient that way. If you have low drag, which is not really the case this time, but like I said, we do have good enough. By the way, the reason why I'm using Smart ASS from MechJab and not just the stock SAS is because for some reason I just can't understand why the stock SAS would just start wobbling the vehicle like that. And it doesn't happen when I just put it to stability assist. It only happens when I put it to like prograde or retrograde. No idea why that happens. It doesn't happen with MechJab because it does have slightly more advanced algorithms in terms of soothing the, well, not vibrations, just minor errors there. Just going to go ahead and circularize here. So like I was saying, that's the reason why I'm using Smart ASS. I'm just locking myself from using all the other nodes that I don't technically have as of right now. So that's the way I'm kind of soft locking myself from using technology. Well, not technology, it's more like skills that I don't really have now. Because Valentina can only do prograde, retrograde, so I'm gonna only use those things for her flight specifically. Alright, so we have reached orbit, low carbon orbit. And like I said, we do need to rendezvous with this target, so I'm just gonna go ahead and push us into a slightly higher orbit here. Bring our apoapsis somewhere around like a few kilometers extra, and like I said, we'll just time warp from here. Just wait till we get into a decent. Okay, I just want to check. Okay, next rotation is where we will meet. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, I'm just gonna point retrograde here. And let's align our sync here. Just gonna make another short burn here. And get our intersect points somewhere there. Yeah, okay, I think I nailed it. This is within 1 kilometer, which is definitely good enough for me. I'm just gonna time warp right there. On we go. Okay. time, and that's it. Mission success. Okay, we'll point the spacecraft to prograde. Wow, this is actually a rather expensive module. I wish we could recover it. That's gonna be quite nice. Well, I mean, they are left in orbit, so we can just go ahead and recover them at a later date. That's gonna be kind of cool. You know, if we can make an SSTO that's gonna recover all of this chunk from orbit, we can potentially get quite some funds from that. I mean, we can use them just for, like, the raw modules that they are, or we can recover them to Kerbin to get some money back. Either way, if I have big SSTOs which are capable of carrying that stuff, or at least carrying up parachutes and other equipment, we can definitely do that. I mean, technically we can do that even now. Just launch a small satellite. We can, like, launch a big rocket that's going somewhere, and we can also just snatch a payload there, just a small satellite that will deorbit that module. Just a bunch of parachutes and that kind of stuff. The problem with that is just kind of annoying because we have to sync our orbits, and that just takes a bunch of time, which is, like, annoying, especially during streams. It's okay if you have, like, a detox stream or something like that, when you're just chilling. Big time chilling, but it's not really something that I want to do right now on a regular basis because we have a lot of other stuff that we can do. Yeah, that's exactly what my proposal was. Alright, like I said, we will now transition to Mun. Let's go ahead and create a maneuver here. It's actually going to be burning quite soon here, within a minute. Just going to time warp right there. Alright, we do have a lot of ignitions left on our primary engine there, so it's fine. We will use most of our fuel to get to that orbit, but that's fine. That's perfectly acceptable. Because yes, we will lose some of our fuel there, but I mean, we should have, from 2 spacecraft that we're gonna have 2 space buses, and combined they should definitely have enough fuel for at least 1 return. And that's all I'm asking for, really. I don't care to return both of them, because we will be able to make refueling missions later on. Or for example, if we have a Mun lander that returned to low orbit and it just happened to have an excess of fuel, which is definitely a possibility because you want to put some extra in case something goes wrong, and you can just kind of sync up with the space station, just dump the rest of the fuel that you have, if you happen to have a lot of it, because when you're returning to Kerbin, you can aerobrake, and it's just not a big deal. Yeah, I know that if I'm doing interplanetary missions, there's definitely a possibility to launch more missions at the same time. And like I said, this is the first time on this series that we are starting to launch multiple vessels at the same time. We're completing different contracts, because we do have 2 now. We have the Utilis, and which is like 1 mission, and we have another just completely separate mission. Just have to disable crossfeed there, and actually I have to change people. Oh damn it, I totally forgot to disable crossfeed on this decoupler. That's definitely something that I wanted to do, but it doesn't really matter much now. Okay, gonna bring our periapsis. Oops, that's a bit too low. Let me just retro burn with RCS there a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Oopsie daisy. Who's Daisy? Alright, let's continue with our mission here. So like I said, we do have 2 missions underway right now. We have the general mission of rendezvousing 2 vehicles on the orbit of Mun, and we also have another one which is like about planting the flag and doing all that kind of stuff. Alright, I don't know why, by the way, but Astrogator for some reason creates more than one maneuver node sometimes, which is a bit of annoying. Alright, so while our space bus is going to mine, we can actually go ahead and save the game. It's definitely something that I want to do, and go to Space Center and launch another bus, or buses. One day we'll have a bus empire, and we'll have our own Amazon delivery services there. We will deliver comets. That's gonna be our business. We're gonna go to comets, we're gonna collect them, we're gonna bring them back to Kerbin, and we're gonna sell them. Actually, one day we will build a casino, which will have 2 comets attached to it, because that's the actual requirement in the contract itself. So stay tuned for that. Alright, so the next launch, we'll have 1 engineer there, just so that he can manage the docking ports in case we do need to do that. And so yeah, let's go ahead and launch this vehicle. Oh yeah, wait. While we have the chance, I just want to make that tiny modification of turning off this crossfit here. Just a minor thing, but I really want to do it because we don't need it there, and unfortunately I had an idea that we might start these engines with the primary engine to just kind of increase our thrust to weight ratio, but that's not really required. That's not really used on our missions. However, it still uses up the resources of the upper stage, which is definitely something that I don't want happening. Actually, you know what? I was kind of thinking for a second, maybe we should add a 3rd booster. Let me just quickly check if we can do that in terms of mass. Oh, we actually can. You know what? Let's add a 3rd booster. Because, I mean, the Delta V that we currently have is decent. Why does it not allow me to do that? Weird. It said that it was fine a few seconds ago, and now it's saying that it's not okay. That's kind of sus. Okay, you know what? Forget about it. Nobody likes you. Go home. Alright, just make sure to disable the crossfit one more, check the crew. Alright, let's go for launch. So yeah, we're gonna have more and more simultaneous missions as we continue forward. Alright, launch here. Right, I will take a slightly higher sun profile than last time. That definitely was way too low for comfort. By the way, yeah, one thing that hasn't happened on these streams is me cussing in Russian. That's a possibility. I was actually kind of considering doing that just for me. Just because I can. Because it will be authentic. It will be very authentic if I do that. But yeah, I haven't done that. For now. Subscribe to see that. One day, maybe. One day we will do that. So anyway, there's actually a decent motivation for us to upgrade our launch complex in terms of the launch pad, so we can start launching bigger rockets. Because we do have the part count within reason right now. Oh, it actually exploded behind us this time. Okay, so we do have reasonable part count numbers right now. But unfortunately, we still are limited by mass right now, so we can't launch really huge spacecrafts. You know what? Let me switch to Smart ASS here, because for some reason it's just better. I don't know why. It's actually a little annoying. but it is definitely better. Right. And for sure, we are taking a bit of a low ascent profile here, which is a little concerning because I definitely want to go higher. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna switch to regular SES. Burn slightly higher because, yeah, look at that. The angle of attack right now is quite scary. I wanted to take a higher ascent profile, but then I thought that we're taking it too high to just make that sharp turn and lost a lot of speed in the process. Actually, overestimated the thrust weight. The problem with this rocket is that it has like very good thrust to weight ratio with the boosters, but as soon as they detach, you're like, oh well. Not ion engine style, but still not very cool. Alright, I think that was enough. Let's go ahead and stage it, by the way. Okay, let's switch to progrades. We can now use Smart SS, and actually, you know what, let's time burn through this. Time warp. Like I said, I'm really tired right now. Not in the bad way, just physically quite exhausted from all the stuff I was doing. Alright, you know what? I think we can just burn right now. Might actually be able to... Oh, look at that! There's like a decent chance that we can do one maneuver just to instantly go to Mun. That's gonna be kind of cool. Just barely get to orbit. Although there is an advantage to launching two vehicles with a little bit more separation in terms of like time when they arrive. Definitely not in a hurry here. And I mean, an hour or something will definitely not matter much. Not entirely sure here what to do. Okay, we'll just keep burning for now. Just definitely want to circularize, that is for sure. Just that we can actually go for one transition. You know what? Let me check if it'll create the transfer for us. And yeah, we can definitely do that, although it's a little funky right now for no reason at all. It doesn't really like doing these maneuver nodes when you're still slightly in atmosphere, or rather not in a full orbit. Okay, and we'll finish soon here. Damn it, brain periapsis. Okay, that's it. We have completed. Okay, let's create the maneuver here. Like it said, yeah, it's a little weird here. Why does it create like the second maneuver for like no reason at all? Okay, that's enough. You know what? We can launch them in a small window, like one right after the other. That's fine. That's good. That's okay. Let's do that. It will be kind of cool though. Not gonna lie. Haven't made many launches like that when you just launch two vehicles pretty much at the same time. Well, almost at the same time. You do have to manage it though, quite aggressively, because there's decent chance to screw things up. But you know, alarm clocks, stuff like that is definitely what you can use. You can actually also use physics range extenders to just allow you to hot switch between two vehicles at longer ranges, not like 2 kilometers, but more like 20, 30, 100 kilometers. So you can basically switch between any vehicles within low orbit, for example, something like that. It's definitely nice to have, but there are other problems with that approach. For example, there's a decent chance to break physics, because there are reasons why vessels are unloaded in KSP. Actually, I do have a video about the problems with Kerbal KSP's physics engine, when I was talking about KSA. There are definitely quite a lot of issues with how it's implemented right now. Okay, let's focus on Mun here. Let's just want to bring our trajectory as low as possible, but like not too low. not like gonna hit the one. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it slightly higher than the other one because I want to transition both of them into low orbit, and this will just allow me to sync time slightly better. Alright, let's switch to Space Bus Mark IV. Yeah, gotta rename them. You know what? We have the chance. Let's rename this vehicle. Damn it. I just wanna give it an index number or something like that. Yeah, that looks good enough. Okay, let's switch to the other one. Why is the first one the second and the second one the first? I have no idea. Because that's the order they are indexed in. That's why. Alright. The vertical stream is doing decently well today. That's kind of cool. Well, I just meant that, I mean, technically we'll launch this vehicle first and it'll have the second index number because I'm just gonna index it second. That was what I was talking about. Alright, so let's go ahead and time warp till we get to Mon. We have two of these spacecraft both going there. Actually don't like that the second one, I feel like it's gonna reach earlier. Do want to be careful with the time warp speed here because I definitely feel like it's gonna reach there sooner. Well, in that case it is going to be first to Mon. I guess. Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna be there sooner. Weird, but okay. I just want to ensure that both vehicles will transition to suborbital flights successfully. Okay. One is in an elliptical orbit. Let's time warp with the other one. I'm not entirely sure just how it will perform. I don't want to ruin the missions because of that. Okay, so I'll just watch this closely. Yeah, that's what I was trying to avoid when one has to burn and the other one is just entering the different orbit. That's kind of annoying when that happens because you kind of have to watch two at the same time. Okay, let's switch to the other one. Let's circularize here. Okay, so how much Delta V do we have? We do have about 1,000, which is definitely enough for what we're trying to do here. Okay, let's create the maneuver node here, actually. And I just want to get into a reasonable orbit, like, I don't know how many kilometers we should do, but I guess like 20 kilometers is good enough. The chat delay should be quite reasonable. I mean, I've tested it, it should be around 10 seconds if I see it perfectly. So it's actually pretty good. Yeah, because I do have YouTube on low delay setting specifically to allow more chat communication. Alright, let's retro burn here. Well, I'm glad that you tested it. Now I do have an extra confirmation. Nice. Alright, let's finish the burn here. Good enough. Yeah, 20-ish kilometers. That's within reasonable. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna time warp to Periapsis here. Oh, wow. Oh, shit. We actually lost power. Why did we lose power? What happened? What is using so much electricity? Okay, what the hell is going on? Why have we lost power? What is using so much? Oh my god, it's... There's this annoying bug when it starts the radiation detoxification unit, even though it isn't on the vessel. Which is super annoying when that happens, because it just starts eating up tons of electricity, even though it's like not supposed to do that. So the way you have to go to battle that is you go to tracking station, and then you load the vessel again, and that kind of solves the issue. It's just annoying. What is that? I'm referring to the comment, by the way. Yeah, I'm not gonna turn the engine off because the electric charge that we have here, like the problems with the electric charge are related mostly because we have this stupid radiation detox unit that's running, which is not even present on the thing. Like, it doesn't even exist there. Damn it, that's annoying. For no reason at all. Gosh darn it. Why does that happen? I know that it's a bug in Kerbalism, and there's like an actual bug report for it, which is really annoying. And I don't think that there's like a way I can shut it down right now. I don't know. This is really annoying. Do Apollo 11. I might do one day, but like, do you want like a perfect recreation or like what? Because they do have Infected on Mon series, which is in that direction-ish. Actually, there's quite a lot of people asking for like an Apollo-style mission. What's up with that? Okay, so like I said, for some reason we have a radiation detox unit which is running even though it should not. Which is ultra annoying. But yeah, I don't think there's much we can do about it other than just try to improve our solar panel exposure here. Damn it. And we can't even turn it off because it's like not actually in the modules. God damn it. Here's the thing. No, I cannot because infinite electricity is not really compatible with Kerbalism. So I can't even do that. It's just annoying. Okay, you know what? Let's continue with the mission. Hopefully they don't really need much electricity. Who needs electricity anyway? It's not like they will be watching movies or something. Probably climatization might fail, but yeah, that's fine. That's okay. That's alright. Alright, so let's get into orbit here. Okay, let's create our maneuver here. And just bring our apoapsis to about 20-ish kilometers. Something like that. Switch to retrograde, time warp. Like I said, it's pretty annoying when that happens. Hopefully the bug will kind of resolve itself somehow. I'm just hoping that it'll resolve itself. If it doesn't and something goes really wrong, I will allow myself to use all the cheats to just kind of save the crew, if it goes to that. But like I said, probably if we load the vessel several times or something like that, the bug will go away. There are definitely ways that you can reset it. Okay. I'm actually gonna turn this off. Just watch it from here. Just bring our apoapsis roughly towards space bus altitude. Okay. Yep, that looks good enough. Alright, let's actually set it as target and see if we can rendezvous shortly here. Yeah, unfortunately, we do have a bit of a problem going on there. Let me try to load it one more time, because our climatization is failing. Stupid radiation detox unit. Funnily enough, if you have it there, you can specifically turn it off. But like if you don't, then there's just no way that you can even theoretically turn it off. It's like really, really annoying. Alright, you know what we can do? So first of all, we can try to improve our exposure, but we can also discharge our capacitors here, which will give us a bunch of electricity to hopefully at least somewhat solve the climatization problem. And also, let's give ourselves max exposure. Do we have emergency power generators here on the spacecraft? No, I don't think we do. Damn, that's kind of annoying. Alright, our electric charge will last us a couple of minutes from those capacitors. So, there's that. Hopefully we will be able to resolve the bug some way. Yeah. Funnily enough, capacitors in Kerbalism act pretty much exactly opposite to their real-world counterparts. Because, like, normally capacitors can discharge quickly, yes, but they actually carry less than proper batteries. In Kerbalism, they carry more, which is weird, but okay. Turn off SCS to save electricity. I mean, that's possible, yeah, but like, I also kind of needed to perform the last maneuver here. Because I do want to bring the orbit slightly lower here. Damn it. Have we solved the climatization? Oh, we actually have recovered climatization almost entirely. So that's really good. Okay, gonna have to use RCS here to point ourselves to retrograde. Okay, let's start the engines here. Circularize. Okay, I just want to get into a 20-ish kilometer orbit, something like that. Okay, that looks good enough. Alright. You know what? Let's try to find some way to load it. Okay, first of all, let's save the game here. Go to Space Center, maybe save the game another time there, just kind of try to reload it, because it is kind of annoying. Hopefully these issues will go away. This really is annoying. Okay, let's save the game here. Let's load the game here. And see if maybe loading the vessel multiple times will kind of solve the issue. Maybe? Question mark? The author of Kerbalism, well, not the author per se, but one of the guys that's working on Kerbalism said that they have no idea what is causing this bug, and they will not, they have stopped attempts to circumvent it. ISS launches and stuff? I don't know, it's just that these videos, like ISS launches and everything, they kind of require a lot of effort, but at the same time, they don't really reward in terms of like views and everything. Okay, do we have... Yes, we have solved the electricity problem. Look at that, our electricity is rising. I'm gonna recharge the capacitors here while we can, because that is definitely a good idea to do. Okay. Luckily our capacitors have kind of saved us. Alright, so now we can actually just set this thing as target and just time warp without any issues, hopefully. Unfortunately, our close rate is quite low because, I mean, there are very similar orbits here. So we'll have to wait like maybe a day or something. But I mean, the orbit period is not that bad, so while it might look really bad, it's actually not that bad. We're still within like days of this mission, which is definitely fine. At least we won't have to burn a lot of fuel to reorbit. Okay, you know what? Let's time warp to Periapsis here, and I'll use the RCS to hopefully improve this intercept point here. Hopefully we can do that. Okay, you know what? Let's point retrograde here. I'm not gonna comment Windows at all because I don't even run Windows. Like, sorry, just I don't do that kind of stuff. No Windows zone here. We don't do Windows here. Sorry. Okay, all right. So I can't even tell you even if I wanted to. And I mean, I want to. It's just that I actually can't help you in terms of any Windows issues that you might have. Okay, damn it. I think we have something wrong here with our intercept going on. Because A, we do have quite a big descending node here. And also, I need this spacecraft to go slightly higher. Damn it, that's annoying. Okay, you know what? We're gonna switch. Oh, this is already our vehicle, great. I'm gonna do a bunch of maneuvers here. So first of all, I wanna point to north, and I wanna do a small maneuver here to just kind of level out our orbit, at least somewhat. Okay, just bring it more equator-ish. Okay, that's better. And second, because this current vehicle has to go higher, you know what? Let's switch to Mark II here. Based. I'm running Linux. Okay. Alright, this one will actually have to do the opposite thing. We'll have to point downwards and correct our ascending nodes. This will require us this tiny maneuver here. I'm just gonna bring them to pretty much the same level. Great. It's like I was saying, this inner one does have a smaller circle, so I guess we can actually switch to the first one, just make another maneuver, because I want to circularize and pretty much, well, sync the orbit in next turn, because we have waited definitely enough. This is taking slightly longer than I would like to. The reason it's taking so long is primarily because I don't want just to have them docked. I want to also have generally a decent orbit. Oh, look at that. We'll have an intercept point here. Kind of close-ish. Well, yeah, not quite. Okay, let's continue time warping to Periapsis, and then we'll make just another short burn. Oh my god, did it start doing that again? No, it did not. Okay, it's just, oh, it's just that we didn't have a lot of solar exposure because we were maneuvering and stuff. Damn it. That's the problem with low orbits. Okay. Let's make a short burn here, get our intercept points aligned as close as we can. That looks really good. And now let's time warp here. Okay. It's looking fairly reasonable. Okay. What's the electricity on Mark II here? Oh my god, it started the radiation detox unit again. Damn it, that's just so annoying. Okay. Let's set to target minus. No, relative velocity minus, and we'll burn here soon. to intercept. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna use the smart ASS here. It's just slightly more annoying. Okay, just gonna correct our course slightly. I'm sorry I'm not commenting a lot. I'm just having aggressive thoughts about the stupid radiation detox unit, which doesn't even exist. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. We're going a bit too aggressively here. How's that for docking? Okay, alright. You know what? Let's point somewhere towards it. And then we'll switch vessels and attach them. Maybe the bug will go away that way. Damn it. We have smart ASS going on here. Okay, turn that off. SAS, RCS. We will have to, unfortunately, use thrusters here. To point ourselves, which is a little annoying. Okay, alright. That looks good enough. Alright, let's switch again. Enable RCS, and now let's go for the docking procedure. Okay. Just aim it somewhere in that direction. I mean, docking ports in KSP have absolutely insane magnetic properties, so it's actually fine. We'll be able to connect, no problem here. Alright. I'm sorry I'm not doing cool visuals from, like, cockpits and everything. We can definitely do that in later missions, just I'm focused slightly on, like, completing the mission in general right now. Okay, so they have connected to each other. We still have magical radiation detoxification units running, which is a little annoying. So let's go ahead, save the game, load the game. Hopefully that'll get rid of magical radiation detoxification units. That's annoying. Please go away. Please. And I mean, I want to have radiation detoxification units because they're kind of cool. It's just that I don't have the capacity, like in terms of electricity production, to run them for now. So that's annoying. Okay, well, we have successfully docked them. Nice. Very good, very decent. I like this. Alright, so technically we have achieved a successful docking. So congratulations on that. Alright, and I mean, let's turn this thing off. Just point to general SAS, and let's time warp towards the sun and just align the solar panels. Oh my god! I docked the vehicles! I wasn't supposed to do that to have the contract. Damn it, I got so carried away because of that stupid radiation detox unit that I forgot that we had a contract to just rendezvous them, not dock them. God damn it. I mean, it's probably not that big of a deal, it's just more of an annoyance, but still. Okay, let's bring our exposure to 100%. Let's make sure all of our capacitors are charging. Good. Alright, unfortunately we have docked, which is slightly annoying, but... Alright, fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. By the way, let's go ahead and turn off all of the engines here. We have this cool button. Engines off. Staging. Damn it. Lock staging. Alright, that's kind of cool. A flawless docking no, that was not flawless. You have not seen my docking. My docking can be so precise, so accurate. It can be so much better than that. This was absolute shit. It's just that stupid radiation detox unit. It's just that this bug has been bugging me for quite some time already. It's just so annoying. But we did get a contract to land on Minimus and walk on the surface of Minimus, which is precisely what I wanted to achieve. Alright, so here's the thing. We do have one of these rockets on Mun, and we have basically two options from here. Option number one, we currently completely ignore that and just make a separate rocket, go to Mun, do that kind of stuff. Option number two, slightly better, I guess, is we return the Utilis that is on the surface of Mun, but in that case we won't be able to complete these contracts of like planting the flag and doing that kind of stuff. Just a little annoying. Not entirely sure what we should do here. We could definitely just dock them, chill on the Mun. It's definitely an option. Okay, what should we do? Tell me. Because unfortunately I don't have like a pilot, and I'm not in the mood to hire a Kerbal because it's gonna be expensive as hell. And the problem is that I don't really have the ability to dock vessels right now, so I'm really tempted to make another mission. Unfortunately, that mission will be just Bob Kerman, the scientist, by himself. Although I think if we put a probe control, we will still be able to have some SAS capabilities if we put a probe there, but I'm not sure what will happen. Does anybody know, like, if we launch a vessel with a probe, but the probe control is lost, will the pilot still be able to use SAS? Because that's a very important question right now. Okay, you know what? Let's make the slight upgrade of this vehicle. Utilis Mark II, and I think it's our 25th vehicle? Okay, let's put the better probe here. We can put the more advanced probe, and this probe does have SAS capabilities by itself, which is kind of cool. The question is, will it allow our poor Bill here? Is it Bill? Is it Bill? No, it's Bob. Always messed that up. Okay, so it'll allow our dear Bob here to have SAS, hopefully, or not. I don't know. That's the question I have for you guys. I honestly don't know. I mean, we can test that. I'm leaning towards no, because I think that as soon as the control is lost, we will lose SAS, which is definitely going to be a huge problem. Although we can kind of circumvent that a little bit. When we're near Minimus, I'm not going to need SAS. And I need it mostly for the ascent, for the trip there. So I can just put an antenna here for like the actual ascent. And once we get to orbit, we can actually start using, I can just put one of these antennas, like long range antenna here, which will give me more than enough signal for all my requirements in terms of guidance support. All right, by the way, you know what? We can add a camera. All right, let's go ahead and add one of the cameras here. It's like a docking camera-ish. All right. Well, I'm not entirely sure. Like, SAS is possible with a probe or a pilot, but here's the thing: we will have a pilot. Well, not a pilot. We will have just a Kerbal, and we will have a probe, but the probe is not going to be connected to DSN. This is kind of a weird scenario. Okay, let's test that. I mean, what are we here for, if not to test stuff? All right, let's go launch this beast. Okay, just want to check that everything's fine. You know what? Haven't done this on previous versions, but I'm really tempted to put just a bunch of solar panels here and there. Our primary electric generators will still be the power modules, but it will allow me to produce just a little bit of electricity just to kind of reduce the load slightly. And I'm also gonna put some of them here, so like this-ish. Can I put them here? Yes. Oh, by the way, I just realized that our RCS thrusters are technically not aligned, as well as our landing legs. Oopsie daisy. Well, I mean, that's why you have multiple designs, I guess, to account for that stuff. Alright, so I'm just gonna put a bunch of these small solar panels just to slightly increase our mission duration, max mission duration. Alright, let's go ahead, launch it. Alright, we are go for launch. Like I said, we do have SAS to some capability. Okay, let's start the engines. And off we go. So far, the SAS is still working. I can actually test it right now. I can just turn the antenna off temporarily. And look at that, we still have SAS. Great, absolutely incredible. Okay, we can retain SAS if we just have a Kerbal there. The Octa will still be able to provide guidance nonetheless, which is absolutely incredible. Really good. Alright, so on we go with our mission, I guess. Unfortunately, I do not have these vents on the sides here to push the boosters away. So we'll just have to pray that they don't collide. I mean, they do have some stabilizers, it's just that they don't have the extra fins to just kind of push them away. That's not a feature that we have. Okay, I'm gonna start going to orbital mode here. Shortly start gaining more horizontal speed. Right. Not entirely sure, but I think this mission will be the last for today. Although I'm kind of tempted to go for quite a long period, so I'm not sure that's going to be a good idea. Because that stupid radiation detoxification unit absolutely made me go insane. That is just such an annoying bug that is there for no reason, and nobody wants to go and fix it. Which is really sad. Okay, I think we're high enough here that we can just transition to level flight. Just gain a bunch more velocity here. Get to circularize. Gonna be able to circularize pretty soon here. It's looking good so far. Alright. Damn it, why does it keep moving away like that when I time warp? That's annoying. Stage it. Actually, you know what? We can probably create some maneuver node for circularization. Yoink. Okay, that is good enough. Doesn't really matter too much, as long as it's within reasonable ranges. Start the engines. Let's time warp to our maneuver node. It's gonna be a sunrise soon here. Sunrise in orbit. Okay, start the engines. Started really well. Everything's looking good. We'll be time warping here slightly. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Sunrise in Orbit. There we go. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Get the screenshot. Okay. That was kind of cool. You'd think they would have some kind of hacky fix, even though they've given up on a clean fix for the bug. Yeah, well, you'd think, but they haven't. Although, I mean, I kind of know why. The problem is that the system is just so complex. They said that they have, like, a memory leak somewhere, and they're not entirely sure, like, how to solve that. Just kind of annoying. Alright, let's set Minimus as target here. Let's create our maneuver node. Oh, actually, why am I doing this manually? I have a tool for that. Minimus, yoink. That's our maneuver. There we go. Let's time warp to our maneuver. Oh, I now understand why it does two maneuvers, because one is the primary maneuver to insertion orbit, and the other one is a trajectory correction for, well, because Minimus is on a bit of a tilted orbit. Oh, wow, I actually understand now why that is. Alright, okay, sure, why not? Okay, gonna start the burn pretty soon here. We can actually do that from cockpit-ish. Attitude, check. By the way, lock staging. Orbital display, check. SAS, well, we don't have prograde, so there's that. Engine full power, check. No, it's gonna be soon here. Gonna burn for it. Quite aggressively. Alright. Burn in 3, 2, 1, go. And off we go. The orbital display is having a bit of a seizure. That's to be expected, to be honest. And on we go. Okay, how much do we have? Oh, we have Delta V displayed here for our maneuver here. Yeah, this maneuver will take some time. Although I feel like the estimated burn time is way off for some reason. Okay, gonna correct our course here slightly. I'm sorry for the vibrations that you probably are experiencing, like I do, but it's the name of the game if you're working from cockpits. More immersion, I guess. Yep, that's good enough. Okay, we have completed our maneuver here, and now we'll just time warp to the next maneuver node. Okay, let's aim for that maneuver node. Like that. Like I said, yeah, it's going to be an attitude change, just a tiny bit. Okay, because this is deep space maneuver, we can just ignore when we have to do that. Although I do want to decrease the thrust limit to just 5% here, because the maneuver is only like 10 meters of Delta V, and I want to do it quite precisely. Cut Windows 10. Good for you, I guess. Switch to Linux. Linux is better. Objectively better. 10 out of 10 code reptiles say that Linux is better. So, think about it. Okay, you know what? I'm actually gonna create another maneuver here. Actually, you know what? Let's forget about it. Just not in the mood. Let's just try and warp to Minimus here. Alright, so we do have a contract here that we have to walk on the surface of Minimus. So we'll do that. You've spelled Linux wrong. I'm sorry. Alright, you know what? Let's actually change our course here. I want to decrease our periapsis, although I'm not sure which one of these is the correct one. I constantly forget about that, so I'm just gonna use the RCS to find out. Okay, that's the wrong one. Can I please rotate to the other one? I just want to push us towards Minmus, somewhere in that direction. I mean, you can switch to Linux today. Why wait for when Windows will stop getting support? Okay, let's increase the thrust limit here. And, I mean, we've almost finished our maneuver. Just gonna correct it slightly because I want to land on the sunny side. Just gonna slightly push us there. Actually, you know what? Let's make another small burn here. Yeah, that looks reasonably well. I'm sorry, I could probably display it closer, but couldn't be bothered. All right, let's time warp, get a landing. I mean, Linux is actually like, I know this is kind of cliche. But Linux is quite easy. Like if you run Ubuntu, for example, it really is just not that hard. Really is quite easy. I mean, easy in terms of like getting from Windows. It's really not that hard. I mean, Ubuntu is probably something that my grandpa would be able to install. It really is just not that hard. All right. So let's just time warp here till we get close. Actually, you know what? Let's save the game here. Good time for that. All right, we are go for landing here. Gonna land very soon. Okay, I'm just gonna wait till our impact meter is roughly similar to the burn time, and then we will ignite our engines. I mean, I don't know why people stick to Windows. Like, it's just so much bloatware. I've moved to Linux for a different reason. It wasn't bloatware for me. I just couldn't be bothered fiddling around with my work environment in terms of Windows. I mean, the code editors and that kind of stuff. I work as a computer scientist. It's just a lot easier to do that on Linux, but I mean, Windows is just so goddamn annoying in terms of like these ads everywhere, them selling your information, that kind of stuff. I mean, gaming support is definitely getting better on Linux. Thanks Steam. Like, actually, guys, you are doing really well in terms of bringing more gaming to Linux. That's definitely a cool thing. Okay, just gonna stick the landing here. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, landing completed. Let me just read the entire comment. For web development, just got i3 and Tmax set up recently. Such a game changer. Yeah, yep, it kind of is. All right, so here's a little problem that we have. Because our solar panels are providing pretty much all of the electricity that we need, we actually are not creating enough water because we don't burn hydrogen right now, which is a bit of a problem, weirdly so. But I think as soon as we will start the material science study here, I think the electric consumption will suddenly go up. And probably, yep, we have started creating water here. All right. Although I still think that we will have to just kind of turn the solar panels off to create water to just kind of burn the fuel cell, which is definitely weird. Not something that I expected. I thought that the solar panels will provide like barely enough electricity, but they actually provided quite a decent amount. Okay, walk on the surface of Minmus. Yes, sure, let's go ahead and do that. I'm not gonna plant the flag just yet. Okay. Boink. Okay, you know what? I'll be right back till this finishes. Just 1 second. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm back. Alright, as you can see, the surface sample has finished. Like I said, I'm not gonna plant the flag just yet. I'm actually gonna wait till we have, world first achievement contract for that. Then I'm gonna do it. For now, I'm just gonna keep running all this science. Just get some more water. While we're at it. And yeah, okay. Let's go to Space Center. Hopefully we can accept some more contracts. For example, like returning from Minmus orbit. That contract would be kind of nice. I mean, we do have a theoretical possibility to actually go from Minmus to Mun and just leave a bunch of fuel there. We can dock. Make another docking procedure. It's definitely possible. Alright, so we have another contract to rendezvous 2 vessels in orbit of Minmus and return to Kerbin from the surface of Minus. This contract is kind of annoying right now. Because, well, I mean, we can definitely return to Kerbin from the surface of Minmus, but rendezvousing 2 vessels is just gonna be slightly annoying. Oh, look at that. We actually have a contract to rescue some dude from orbit of Minmus. We can definitely do that, because we do have a spare seat. Which is kind of nice. Science data from space around Kerbin, we can definitely do that. I mean, there's actually quite a lot of these contracts that we have. The issue that I have is that currently... gotta go. Well, sorry to see you go, but have a great day. Alright, so here's the thing. We are on the edge of researching R&D. We can, like, research it pretty much now. And then we can actually launch better rockets. But the thing is, like, there's no real point to upgrade R&D right now because we haven't recovered science from Kerbin. Or rather, from Minmus. So what we can actually do right now is we can launch another rocket towards Minmus. Oh, we can't because we don't have astronauts. Scratch that. Never mind. Okay, you know what? We can accept this contract. And unfortunately, we'll have to, I think we'll have to upgrade our mission control here. Because we do have these interesting contracts to just rescue a bunch of guys. Unfortunately, it's just going to take quite a lot of time to do so. It's just slightly annoying. But I don't want to upgrade the mission control because I want to save some money on the R&D facility upgrade. You know what? We can probably transmit science data from surface of Minmus. I think. I think that should be possible. Let me check that. I think our antenna should be powerful enough. The problem is that we probably landed on the other side of Minmus, which is suboptimal. Okay, let me just kill this crew capsule quickly. Oh, I should have unlisted it, but whatever. Yeah, the problem is... Oh, no, we're actually facing Kerbin. Alright, that's actually good. Slightly accidental, because I was just looking to land on the sunny side of Minmus. But we actually managed to land so that we're facing Kerbin, which means we can send the data there, which is kind of cool. Alright, let's use this big antenna. We're gonna target mission control. And we're gonna activate it. And look at that. It is in range. Do we have a connection? Yes, we don't. No, we do not have a connection right now. I think it's just because we don't really have line of sight to KC. I think it's just rotated right now. I think we have to just time warp a little bit. And yeah, it's just on the other side of Kerbin. We'll have contact soon here. Yeah, just about now, please. Yes, no, maybe. Should be visible now. Oh yeah, okay, we finally got our connection, and we have transmitted a bunch of data. Well, I mean, since we do have so much electricity, we can actually send all of the data that we have on Minmus right now, because why not? That's actually kind of cool that we can do that. Alright. Let's actually, by the way, transfer data to this command pod. And yeah, I mean, we can use the antenna because, well, I mean, since we do have a powerful enough antenna to send data, why not do that? Especially since we kind of need to shed off some electric charge to produce water. I know this is kind of weird, but just the weird reality that we're living in. Alright, that is looking pretty solid right now. Okay. So we have completed this contract to send data from Minmus, and we probably should have... Yeah, we do have quite a lot of signs right now. We have 102, which means we can probably accept some more contracts. I think we should accept the contract to get back from Minmus and the contract to save a guy. And then we'll just send another mission someday later to rendezvous 2 vehicles in orbit of Minmus. I mean, it's not that hard. Yeah, we do have 2 contracts available, so we can just accept whichever one of these will give us more money. This will give us more money, I guess. And we have this contract to recover scientific data from space around 1. I mean, we can easily do that. I'm kind of tempted to accept it and just transmit a bunch of data. All right, you know what? Let's focus on what is the most important right now, which is finishing our exploration of Minmus and actually getting back from Minmus. I really want to do that. By the way... Oh, I've just realized when we will save the astronaut, we will technically rendezvous in orbit. That's stellar! That's great! Wow, that's actually really, really, really good. Oh my god, I actually haven't realized that. That is absolutely incredible. We're gonna complete the contract. I was just annoyed that we're gonna have to send like 2 separate vehicles to Minmus. But no, we can actually do it like right now. Wow, that's cool. Alright, so here's the thing. With Minmus being a very low gravity celestial object, we can just wait till the pod is basically right above us and then just burn straight for it. We can basically ignore that Minmus is a celestial object, and we can rendezvous As if we are in just space. Okay, let's set it as target right now. I'm actually gonna wait till it's pretty much straight above us. And I'm just gonna, okay. Just gonna burn for it like that. Somewhere in that direction. Okay. Just gotta align it somewhere. Like that. Just make sure we're flying roughly towards it. You know what? We can actually, I think we could just burn straight for it. Weird, I know, but like, I think we can just afford ourselves to burn straight for it. One of the weirdest rendezvous. But it'll work, because, like I said, Minmus has so little gravity that we can just ignore it altogether. And look at that! We have, well, it's just the save. I want a rendezvous, and I think for a rendezvous, we have to kill our relative velocity as well. So we'll have to make another burn here. Unfortunately. And yeah, we have rendezvous. Great. Okay, so I'm just gonna EVA to that module. Come on. Please. I want a rendezvous with you. Oh my god, camera had a seizure. Damn it. Just want to enter. Can we please just enter? Can something go right on this stream? Okay, the Eagle has landed, and it's a pilot! Look at that. That's lucky. Because we definitely need more pilots right now, and anybody else. Okay, so I think we can just go straight for... I think we can just go straight for straight for Kerbin? I'm sorry I'm having a stroke, but it is what it is. Alright, you know what? Because we have so much Delta V, I just can't be bothered, so I'm just gonna do a weird thing, which you should never do. I'm just gonna set Kerbin as a target and just burn straight for it. Damn it. Like, why can't I set Kerbin as a target? That's a little annoying. God damn it. Okay, can I do it like this? Yes, I can. No, I cannot. Damn it. Okay, let's burn for one. Doesn't really matter. So the goal here is that I'm just gonna point roughly in the direction of Kerbin, and I'm just gonna burn straight for it, ignoring gravity of Minmus altogether. Because again, Minmus does not have gravity. I defy that premise. Okay, let's start the engines. The engines are running successfully, and we'll just burn straight for it. Alright, Minmus does have a little bit of gravity, so I will go slightly above. But in general, yeah, I just want to make this weird maneuver. Alright, look at that. And this should bring us on an escape trajectory from Minmus. And we can actually make a minor correction here to just change our course while we're at it. But first of all, I want to stop the material study that we have depleted, as well as mystery go observation, and start the other ones. Because I know that I haven't completed all of them in deep space. So let's go ahead and do that. By the way, what's our water? Oh, we only have 1 day left, which is suboptimal. But at the same time, it's not that big of an issue, because we can just produce more by being in shadow, or effectively blocking our solar panels. Okay, look at that. I have created this tiny maneuver to just kind of set us towards Kerbin. Roughly in that direction. I'm just gonna wait till our periapsis is roughly below 70,000. And we'll just perform this weird maneuver. I know this is kind of weird, but I just want to get to Kerbin as quick as possible. I just can't be bothered to do good maneuvers right now. I'm just gonna burn pretty much straight for Kerbin. Alright. Just gonna make another short correction burn. We will be approaching Kerbin at an eye-watering speed, but luckily we still have some Delta V left, so we'll be able to slow ourselves down a little bit. Plus, we can make several burns if we really have to. Alright, let's toggle the landing gear here. Let's, By the way, do we have EVA experiments kits? Yes, we do. Oh my god, I forgot to take the Minmus stone with me. God damn it. Well, I mean, we'll still have more missions to Minmus, I guess. It's just slightly annoying. You know what? Dear Bob, can you please go ahead and perform an EVA experiment, at least in orbit? We can definitely perform an EVA reports, and we can also perform EVA science. Although I think we've already completed that. No, we haven't. Okay, alright. That works for me. That's great. Alright. Oh, wait, I haven't completed the EVA reports. Let me just quickly do that. Time warp a little bit. Finish that one. And I mean, we'll have to do a bunch of these EVA reports, like in high orbit, and that kind of stuff. That'll give us a little bit more science, which also we can send pretty much right away. Alright, although was that a... No, that was space high. Alright, well, it is what it is. Okay, let's time warp from here. Just gonna time warp till we exit the orbits. And then we'll just time warp straight for Minmus. Or for Kerbin. Alright. Let's time warp straight ahead. Damn it, it says... It does the annoying thing when it kind of prompts me about losing connection. I don't care if I lose connection, because I don't really have any way to connect with you anyway. I don't have like a deep space network. Alright, so here's the thing. Unfortunately, our water supplies ran out, so what we have to do right now is just point ourselves away, perfectly away from Sol, which should... Okay, let me switch to locked camera here. It's gonna make it slightly easier. And the goal here is to, yeah, just point ourselves perfectly away, so we can actually start using, start burning hydrogen to perform this kind of experiments. Actually, you know what? Let's activate the antenna here as well, because it will burn even more electricity, which is weirdly enough good right now. And also, let's perform EVA report, EVA science. Gotta bring that scientific research while we can. Alright, Kerbals. I mean, this is definitely the Kerbal way to perform science, by rotating in deep space near your spacecraft. Such much science. Okay, you know what? Let's enable RCS and go back. I think we've had enough of a enjoyment time. Time to get back to work. Alright, so like I said, we will just continue on. Unfortunately, we have used up some... Oh, Jesus Christ, I almost overtime worked. That was scary. Alright, like I said, we'll be able to restore most of our electricity here. And I I mean, we can go straight for landing. There's nothing much we have to do here. Okay, let's just time warp till we get into atmosphere. Boop. Alright, let's face towards orbit here. And let's burn off the rest of our fuel that we have. Also, here's the deal. We need to perform some material study in not high orbit, in stratosphere, basically. So what I'm thinking of doing is actually just holding on to the rest of the spacecraft for now, to just kind of finish some of that science. We should have definitely started it on the ascent, but, you know, it's always easy to do that in retrospect. Alright, by the way, we have to deactivate the antenna here, because it'll get ripped off. Unfortunately, I think it's just gonna, all of our modules will probably just burn off. And they did. Alright. Yeah, you know what, let's be safe. Let's stage the vehicle right now. Just want to be a little bit extra safe here. Okay, and that thing will just kind of burn somewhere behind us. Like I said, the goal here is primarily to just return with all of the samples, and everything else is just a bonus. Which we unfortunately could not collect, but yeah, whatever. By the way, you'll also notice that I'm just completely ignoring the existence of Kerbal Space Center, and I'm just landing somewhere. The reason for that is because, I mean, this return stage it's not gonna give us a lot of money back, even if we landed like perfectly near KSP. For that reason, we're just not gonna bother trying to land it near the Kerbal Space Center. I'm just gonna land it somewhere in Kerbin. It's good enough. Alright, by the way, let's set the deployment altitude for parachutes to slightly lower. And I think we can deploy them right now. I just don't want to descend during this lost stage forever. Alright. Look at that. I think that there's actually some surface features there. We probably go research them, theoretically. Although I think that's just cross. Yeah, that's just cross. Damn it. Alright, I mean, we can still perform some EVA science. We actually haven't done it to this very day. We can take the surface sample from the surface of Kerbin. I mean, that'll give us some science, so why not? That'll give us precisely 4 science, which is definitely good enough for me. And the EVA science experiment will give us another 1.8. I mean, that's good. Not gonna lie. I'll take it. Why not? I mean, one day I will build a plane and I will have like a weird 10-hour stream or something like that where I'm just gonna fly around Kerbin and collect a bunch of science pretty much from every little place that I can possibly find. But not today. Today we are going to recover this crew pod and continue on with our mission. By the way, how's our vertical stream doing? It's doing reasonably alright. Alright, so now we should have a lot more science. Unfortunately, we forgot about the Moonstone, which could have given us another contract completion and more money, more science. But we still recovered a bunch. We have 340. Wow, that's actually really cool. And our next contract is to fly by Eve. Wow, that's beyond our current capabilities, unfortunately. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna accept it for now. I think there are more small contracts that we can do around Kerbin. within its sphere of influence, because that is way beyond our current capabilities. But what we can do is definitely can research the upgrade research and development facility, finally, and we can start researching more exciting technologies. So here's the thing, we definitely don't need heat management. We can go for advanced electrics and precision engineering. I really want advanced electrics because it's just gonna give us better solar panels. And I mean, you can work with these smaller ones. They definitely are still solar panels. They still produce electricity, but they're just so annoying to use because you just kind of have to put them. They don't follow the sun. They're like really, really annoying to use. And I know that currently we're not really at the stage where convenience is the most important factor, but it's just such a big annoyance that it actually might make sense to use photovoltaic panels like proper, that which track the sun and everything. Or we could actually start researching precision engineering, which is, or rather advanced exploration. Now advanced exploration will give us the mobile processing lab. Unfortunately, it's a lot less cool in Kerbalism, and also we already have a lab, another one here, but primarily it'll add like waste processors to life support, which is nice, and it'll also add tranquilizing vortex to sickbay modules, which is also kind of cool. So we definitely, there's definitely some interest in researching that, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, just not completely sure. By the way, these mobile processing labs will have a bunch of experiments that we will be able to research. For example, one of them is the materials-based study, which comes from precision engineering. As you can see, precision engineering is also a node that not only will give us better antennas, and we definitely need stronger antennas. For example, this antenna here will be able to punch 75 gigameters, which is really cool because it will allow us to send our first probes to Eve. Now here's the thing, interplanetary travel in Kerbalism is really, really hard. It's like actually hard because you have to pack tons of supplies. You have to pack a lot of like Delta V because your vessel is just a lot bigger than it would normally be. And it's really hard to do that without like nuclear propulsion. Or for example, like liquid hydrogen, that kind of stuff. Which is the reason why I'm like tempted to send probes there. But the problem with sending probes is that, well, we have remote tech, which will add delay to communications, which is kind of annoying. But most importantly, we just need these super duper powerful antennas that will be able to send signals all the way back to Kerbin from Eve, which is like really far away. So I'm actually not entirely sure that we'll be able to do probes right now to Eve. Like I said, it's gonna be hard. But what we still can do is we can start building off our network, at least for within the Kerbin sphere of influence. We can definitely start building a bunch of satellites, which will at least give us 100% coverage within Kerbin sphere of influence. And after that, we can start building like better probes for like long-range connections, that kind of stuff. Or we can research aviation. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I mean, you can technically start building your first SSTOs roughly at supersonic flights. I mean, you can technically do that before, but like supersonic flight is definitely along the region where you can start building your first SSTOs. We can definitely aim for that. But for now, I think it's more important to just focus on creating like space stations, that kind of stuff. And exactly for space stations, we will need advanced electrics and precision engineering. Sure. With all of that considered, yeah, I think let's go ahead and research them. Yeah. You know what? Let's start doing that. Alright, so we have researched that. I mean, we could also stock some and wait till electronics, which could give us even more powerful antennas, theoretically. But I don't think that we really care that much about, like, super powerful antennas. More so care about, like, experiments and that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's research that. So with that out of the way, we now have a bunch of these things that we have done, these things that we have researched, and we can actually start building a bunch of space stations. Because we now have fuel transfer, which is a really, really big thing for us. But here's the thing, to start building space stations, we have to, like, technically suffice that we need to purchase the, where is it? Damn it. New space station, yeah, we have to buy the hitchhiker storage container. Actually, you know what, we can go ahead and do that. So let's do that, why not? And we can start building our first space stations. There's definitely a lot that we can do now. We have most of our technologies that we need. Out of curiosity, when do you usually stream? You have some kind of schedule going? It's definitely weekends, and it's around... damn it. Well, it's my time zone. Okay, so my time zone is UTC +1, and I'm usually streaming at 7 to 8 p.m. Something like that. So go ahead and do the math in your head. You know what? I'm just gonna write that in chat quickly. So it's UTC +1, and it's roughly that. At 7 o'clock. That kind of depends on, like, my schedule and everything. But I do try to stream pretty much at least once per week. This week is actually the third time, because I had one stream during Friday, which was absolutely horrible. I had another stream yesterday, which went spectacularly, and we have another one today. Alright, so let's go ahead and research the hitchhiker storage container, and we can start building our first space stations. The problem with building space stations is that they tend to be kind of heavy. So there is definitely an advantage if we upgrade our launch pad. Or, again, we could try to upgrade mission control to just have more contracts and just cycle through that. Not entirely sure. But yeah, we definitely will accept this contract to build the Kerbin space station. That is, like, for sure, definitely want to accept that. And we could also actually accept the contract to start building the Minimus space station. Great. I love that you're enjoying these streams. That really means a lot for me. So anyway, we could start building the Minimus space station, because again, we do have a bunch of contracts to just rescue a bunch of guys from there. You know what? Because we have so many of these rescue contracts, I think we can actually upgrade our mission control to max level. Yay. And we can just accept this contract. Launch Minimus space station. Sounds good to me. Science from the surface of Mon. Definitely can do that. Rescue some dude from orbit of Kerbin. That's kind of boring. Some dude from orbit of Mon. We can definitely do that. Yeah, sure. We already have a space station almost there. Another dude from Kerbin. Okay, and... I mean, I kind of want to accept this contract about EVE exploration, but it's also really, really annoying because it's gonna be hard to complete it in its entirety because we have this like return to Kerbin. If it was just a flyby, then sure, we can just aim a satellite and just throw it somewhere there. Getting signal back, that's gonna require quite a bit more power than we have right now in terms of like communication, and returning back is gonna be even harder. So for these reasons, I'm not gonna accept this contract for now. Might do that slightly later. Alright, and we also have this like weird contract to rotate the crew. You know what we can do? We can actually accept this contract to rotate the crew, and also accept the contract to bring a bunch of tourists there, which is like quite an interesting multitasking that we can get going on. I kind of like that. So let's go ahead and accept that, and also accept this one. By the way, how much time do we have for these? Oh, it never expires. Great, that's actually really, really cool. Alright, so we also have like these flybys of Minmus. So the goal with these tourist contracts is that they will allow us to basically accept these contracts, and I'm not really gonna bother sending missions just for these contracts. But we can still send these contracts with other missions that we have. For example, if we have a mission to save some dude in the orbit of Minmus, we can send a space bus there, and we can just, because we have some spare seats, we can just pop a few Kerbals there and maybe do a crew rotation or something like that. So we can just do these repetitive-ish missions with tourists, which will hopefully give us some additional revenue to what we already have going on. And right now, I just kind of want to skip this contract, so you know what? How much resources do we have? So our Utilis on Mon has like 32 days worth of resources. Our space bus here has quite a lot. So we can actually, I think we can just time warp a little bit. Just wait one day. And look at that, we got another contract to dock 2 vessels on or around Minmus. We can definitely do that. And plan to flag on Minmus. This contract is a lot easier to do, so let's go ahead and accept that. Science data from space around Minmus, sure. And I mean, we could accept these contracts, but I mean, they're kind of annoying to do. Like, Kerbin rescues are just slightly boring. So you know what? Let's start building our first space station. That is definitely gonna be quite exciting, and I think I'm not sure that I'm gonna launch it on this specific stream, because planning the space station will take a lot of time. But I mean, we can start building it. Definitely designing a space station so that it's not gonna be absolute trash, not gonna look like absolute Frankenstein, will take a lot of time. So let's go ahead and prepare for that. Okay, so here's the thing. We need to create a space station. Damn it, I should really create this ComSat network, because it's just annoying in that the contract is just big in the view. Alright, so what we have to do, we have a bunch of solar panels, we need to have a station core, we need to have a habitation module, and we want a science laboratory, because that will allow researching samples in orbit, but primarily that will just allow us to get some extra money from this contract. So for our station core, let me check the dimensions. So if I select 1.8, we have this Quay station core, and 1.25 we have this like smaller pier station core. I think I'm gonna go with the bigger one because I want to use these bigger command pods as they are pressurized and they just make transferring Kerbals easier. So let's go ahead and actually research the Quay station core, and boy is it ever expensive. Like I said, we're just gonna plan the station right now. I'm not going to actually launch it. I'm going to just plan the general design for it. So we obviously need the space station core, and we obviously want to use as many docking ports as possible because that will allow us to, at least to an extent, just kind of change and morph our space station if we have some weird stuff that we have to do. Okay, so I'm gonna put the this command pod here as the like primary control module, at least while getting to orbit, and from it definitely want another docking port somewhere here. Or we could do something slightly different. You know what we can do? We can actually, yeah, you know what? Let's ignore that. Let's put a... Oh, which one should we use? Have these two different ones, and I guess they are actually different. I mean, let's use the hex. It's just kind of simple one. So we'll put it there primarily because we want to have some probe control on the space station itself, and it's just easy to do that with the hex. And we can also use this like spacecraft as a bit of a return from orbit type of vehicle, so we can just send a bunch of Kerbals back if we need to. All right, so this is going to be our upper station. You know what? Let's just add a docking port there, just in case. Definitely gonna need some parachutes for the descent, and I really like using drogue chutes and main parachutes. All right, so that's gonna be our station core. Now, the station core itself is quite annoying because it doesn't really like it only has like one docking port on top. Well, I mean, not the docking port, just the free IVA passable node, if you will. So we normally in Kerbal Space Program, you do something like this. You just put a bunch of these things here, and bam, you have a space node. That's not really gonna work in Kerbalism, or specifically in free IVA. It's just not gonna be transferring crew from there because we don't have a node there, like a specific node. For that reason, I'm not actually gonna bother putting more nodes there, and I think for now the space station is gonna be just like this weird long thing. Okay, so we definitely want to put some habitation modules here, and we could go with a hitchhiker storage container, but that thing is like 2.5 meter. It's just kind of annoying, unwieldy, it's big, it's hard to control. So I'll actually use the Dawn habitation module, which is actually heavier, but the advantage of the Dawn habitation module is that, well, it's 1.875 meters in diameter, which is our current space station design. All right, gonna put the docking node there. Like I said, the goal here is to use as many of these connectors as possible, docking ports, so we can just readjust our space station if we have to do that later on. Obviously, we'll have to use struts to make sure that the space station will survive the ascent. But that's not really hard to do. I mean, that's really easy, in fact. And yep, just like that, that's it. There you go, that's enough stability. So here's the thing. The science module that we could potentially have on the space station is pretty damn heavy. Like, we definitely could launch it with the rest of the space station, but the problem with that is just gonna be so hard because it just weighs an absolute metric ton, and by the way, it's also 1.8 meter. It's really, really heavy. So yeah, probably not gonna launch in the first design, but right now we're just modeling the space station. This is more of a blueprint for our next space station that we're gonna be building, and probably gonna build 2 of them. Actually 3. They're gonna be pretty similar because I want to reuse rockets, as building rockets takes some time, and I want to save time, especially on the stream. Okay, so I'm gonna put this one here, and let's configure the experiments. So for our experiments, we can put mystery goo observation, which is dumb because we can put a mystery goo containment using easily on the side. We can do materials-based study. Let's look at the requirements. So we can do a lot of these situations. The duration does take quite some time, and we just need a scientist and a bunch of electricity. It's actually not that hard to perform, but I mean, why not? Why not put there? It's definitely an experiment that we can put, and I mean, we don't really have many experiments right now, so just gonna put something there. As for our Dawn habitation module, we can't put sickbay modules for now, unfortunately. As for our pods, yeah, this is gonna be basic stuff. And for our experiments, we can put float. So here's the thing: float is kind of cool experiment because it does provide a lot of science. The problem with that experiment is it just takes A, absolutely ages to complete. It's like 180 days, and B, it requires minimum 4 crew and minimum 25 cubic meters of volume for the crew. And that's really, really hard to perform because, for example, this module only gives us 10 cubic meters and has like crew capacity of 5. So the only way you can actually feasibly do this, well, I mean, you could theoretically launch like 100,000 rockets and have all of them dock to the space station, just have an absolutely enormous space station, perform it that way. That's possible, but it's really dumb, it's really hard, it's really annoying to do that, and it won't give you much in terms of like further exploration. A much better way to do that is actually start researching towards short-term habitation here, and there we can start using gravity rings, which are really, really cool because they can provide tons of habitat volume. Even the smallest ring here will give us like 36 meters, and it still is pretty damn light. Unfortunately, it will require us a lot of research points. B, it will require us to upgrade the R&D facility again. So I just don't think that it's going to be possible for now. And I mean, we might have to go with the stupid approach of building like a lot of modules and just connecting all of them to the space station. And we can definitely start researching somewhere towards hydroponics and just creating these bigger space stations. The problem with that is that it's not going to give us any science short term. I mean, it will give us an experiment, by the way. But I just feel like we should focus on electronics and just start sending probes to Eve, because we're gonna get tons of science, tons of just experiments from there. Every single scientific experiment that we do there will give us tons, like actual tons more science. And for these reasons, I think we should focus on researching. For example, this technology will give us this huge antenna, which will give us 200 gigameters of connection range, which is really, really cool, because I want more powerful antennas. Or we could actually start researching these scanning arms, and just all of these nodes, they will allow us to perform more experiments short term, which will and later allow us to perform more stuff once we start researching these hydroponics and recycling and whatnot. So yeah, I think for now we should just focus on these like nodes somewhere around here. Start building nodes, start researching more science from Mon, from Minmus. We can definitely research a lot more stuff. I mean, we haven't even set probes to those destinations, and I mean, there's like a lot of experiments that we can do with probes if we really want to do that. So yeah, that's my reasoning for now. And yeah, I think that we will have to start building a space station with the stupid design of just bodging together tons and tons of parts. That kind of makes me sad, but I mean, what else can we do? I mean, we will be able to repurpose these processing labs to send them to further destinations. It's definitely going to be possible. So yeah, I think it's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. All right. So if we're going to continue with this space station design, we might as well start thinking towards electric production. So for our electric production, we can definitely take a bunch of these cubic family struts. They're really nice because we can put a lot of them, and they will allow us to just put a bunch of them just like that. And we can just, damn it. Can you please not do that? Thank you very much. Okay, god damn it. It's a bit annoying to build this. Okay, so just like that, we can build these small segments, and then we can start putting our solar panels there, which will just allow us to improve their efficiency, because it's just going to be a lot easier to set them towards the sun. That's the reasoning behind this. It'll be a lot easier to ensure that at least something is pointing towards the sun. So let's go ahead and put some antennas there. Here's the thing, we can use these non-foldable antennas. That's fine, because we are building a space station, so why not do that? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna build this one segment first, and then I will build the rest. Okay, so I'm just gonna put some solar panels on top of it. I'm just gonna put 4 solar panels so that they will just cover absolutely everything. And yeah, in general, I'll just have these like small struts with 4 solar panels attached to them, just like that. And that's going to be my one block, like this one module, that will just have a bunch of these solar panels attached to them. Actually, you know what? We can put them slightly higher and just use 2 blocks for the one module, if you will. Actually, yeah, you know what? Let's build a bunch of these, and we'll just connect them like that. There we go. That's looking pretty sick. Okay, so we've got a bunch of modules there. I just want to leave 8 here. So that's 4 and 3. Oh, damn it, I removed 1. Okay, just like that. So this is going to be my solar antenna array. And then I'm just going to put a bunch of them right here. Just like that. Somewhere here. And then I'll be able to just unfold all of these antennas into this huge array. Just like that. And no matter the orientation of the space station, they will always provide electricity. Because these solar panels on the side will provide like 360 degrees in that direction, and the other ones will provide 360 degrees in the other direction. So wherever, doesn't matter in which direction the sun is pointing, we will always have a lot of electricity production, which definitely is very, very cool. I definitely want to see that. Okay, so here's the problem. To launch these like modules, I really like the design of this module, but it's hard to launch because we can't just launch it like this. We will have to create another spacecraft that'll potentially have like a payload bay. In those payload bays, we will have these like big things. And obviously, it's always a good idea to use as many docking ports as possible, because it'll allow us to just dock these modules right there. I did say that I don't want to use docking ports like on the sides for connecting the space station, because, I mean, Kerbals can't pass through this connection node because it doesn't have a docking port. Well, not the docking port, Jesus Christ, the connection node behind it. Just has only the docking port, but we can still dock stuff to it, and the way I'm gonna set it up is that I'm just gonna have these docking ports like that, and I'm gonna have these solar arrays like that, and I can launch one of these arrays just like that. This is going to be one of my solar array modules. I'm just gonna launch them as these kind of separate spacecrafts. And yeah, just perform multiple launches. We will take our time to build our space station, because I want it to look nice. I want it to be both practical and just look and feel really nice. Okay, so we gotta have these modules here. We don't need heat control, like not really. So what else? Octopi. Some bunch of nodes there. Well, that's actually kind of it for parts right now. Oh, we definitely also want to use a lot of battery packs. And the good way to use battery packs is actually just kind of integrating them into the rest of the design. So like I said, we do have these octastruts, which have a bunch of solar panels. And on the rest of them, we can just put a bunch of these panels, just like that. Look at that. Let me just finish the construction of this thing. I'm just gonna put these battery banks on the side here, just like that, in groups of 4. And I think I can only put 3. I can only fit 3 in there. But that's fine. That's good enough. Okay. Let's just kind of align them slightly, like that. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Yeah, this is looking sick. I really like this design so far. This is looking really cool. All right, and yeah, that is going to be one of our I'm gonna call it a power module, which will provide us tons of electricity and tons of electricity storage and tons of electricity production. And basically one of these modules, just one of them, will already solve like 99.9% of our electricity requirements. So that's definitely cool. Unfortunately, we will have to launch them separately. So for the beginning, I will just put bunch of these big solar panels on the side of our nodes, just so that we can have some electric production before we get the big power modules installed, just so that our space station will have at least some backup energy production capabilities. Although I will be launching it, I will launch it with like a single Kerbal, and I think I'll just have that Kerbal pretty much almost instantaneously descend back to Kerbin. Alright, so that's looking actually pretty solid so far. So we've got our lab, we've got our, by the way, we've got a use these auto struts. I gotta put them somewhere here. Damn it. Just put a bunch of them there. Connect like that, and yeah, that's looking pretty good. By the way, I want to use 8 here. Yeah, let's just use more of them while we can. I mean, obviously, these auto struts, like, because I'm planning the vehicle right now, most of these auto struts will probably have to be placed manually later on, and probably I'm not going to place so many, but just for the looks right now, I'm just going to pretend as if I'm going to place them perfectly accurately. That's not going to happen, but I can hope. At least I'm going to have some hope. All right. So that's going to be our space station. By the way, these power modules, while they are kind of neat, they definitely need a connection on the other side, because how else are we going to attach them? I mean, we will need to have like a small spacecraft, like a builder vehicle that will attach to one of them. It'll maneuver towards the other nodes, it'll attach it, something like that. So we will also have this like another task of like actually building that vehicle there, which will allow us to build a space station. But it is going to be a very versatile vehicle, which is why I definitely am okay spending extra money on building that, because we will use it a lot more. By the way, we can actually also incorporate a bunch of these capacitors to our design, which will allow us to just store tons of electricity in case we suddenly need to use a lot of it. Yeah, we can definitely do that. And like I said, for our first launch, I think the first launch is going to be the Quay Station Core and the Habitation Module. Then we'll separately launch these power modules, and then we're gonna finish with the processing lab. But because the Quay and the Dawn Habitation modules are gonna be in orbit by themselves for a little bit of time, while they will have these powerful capacitors just to kind of provide the electricity for that long-term duration, I still think it's beneficial to put a bunch of these battery banks here. I'm just gonna put them there, and they do fit very nicely into the design. Actually, I really like how that's looking. And that's just gonna provide the main power for the say while we bring these power modules to orbit in a separate launch. And I mean, these power modules are kind of expensive. I mean, they're expensive by themselves. They cost like, what? So it's 50,000 by itself, then it's like 80,000. So they cost like 30,000, just like the raw costs of them. And we will also have to obviously create a separate vehicle to launch them, to dock them. So that is going to be kind of hard to pull off in terms of funds, which is why there's a decent chance that we might have to like wait for some time for this primary station core to just kind of chill in orbit, and there's a decent chance that I'm going to take tourists with me. And yeah, so they will have to chill quite a bit in orbit. By the way, while we're talking about tourists and in general just staying in orbit, we obviously need some resources here. So let's go ahead and figure that out. So for our resources, definitely want to use the biggest life support boxes that we have. And like I said, so we have these like power modules in a like modular design. So let's go ahead and just make everything modular. And you guessed it, the rest of our space station in terms of like these storage blocks is also going to be modular. And here's the thing, we can do a similar approach. We can theoretically take a bunch of these segment grinders. By the way, we can actually use bigger ones. I've actually used very small ones there. Not entirely sure. Maybe we should use smaller ones. Let's check how that'll look. Oh yeah, that'll definitely look a lot cleaner. Yeah, you know what? I think we should swap these to slightly bigger designs because that's just gonna... that's gonna look a lot better, but more importantly, it'll just be easier to manage. Easier to attach everything. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. We'll swap them. And like I said, this is the benefits of a modular design, is that you can have different modules, you can kind of plan them out. And then if at some point you decide like, oh, damn it, you know what? I want to change this. I want to upgrade, for example. I don't have enough storage capacity, and you can just add another module. You don't have to replan your space station. You can just add another module and then another module, and you can do that for as long as you want. So like I said, we're gonna put a bunch of these solar panels here. Hello there, mate. Welcome to the stream. We're just chilling here right now. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna put 2 of these solar panels here, and just gonna put... Well, I mean, we have 3 storage blocks. By the way, you know what we can actually do? I think we can rotate these along the axis like that. Damn it. And we can have double the battery capacity. Yeah, that looks like a good idea. Yeah, that's looking solid. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, you know what? Let's pack as much as we can, because electricity production and electricity storage is definitely going to be really important for our space station. All right, yeah, I think that looks like a decent power module. Let's go ahead, attach it to a node there. Also, let's attach another node at the end, and yeah, there we go. So we have tons of storage in case we need to stay in shadow for a long period of time, which can actually happen. Like, for example, if we're doing a space station near Minmus, and we have this like big space station with like lots of modules, they all need climatization, pressure control. We've got several radiation detoxification units running. So the chances that we're gonna need a lot of electricity storage is actually pretty high. Although I'm starting to also kind of think that these might be a little bit of an overkill. I mean, our electricity production is going to be kind of subpar, and by the point where we'll have bigger solar panels, we'll also have bigger batteries. So you know what? I'm actually starting to think that maybe we should have smaller ambitions here. Something like that. Yeah, that looks a lot more manageable. But I actually kind of like this small design. Yeah, that looks actually pretty cool. So we've got like a self-contained module. We've got battery capacity and electricity production. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. And these are going to be relatively easy to ship to orbit. I mean, it does look pretty self-contained. It's not gonna be easy to upgrade. Although these solar panels do look a little small in comparison to like the rest. You know what I'm also gonna do? I also want to kind of clip them a little bit inside. Just a little bit. Just like that. Just push them slightly inwards. Just a tiny bit. Yeah, like that. Also give them slightly more separation, which is always a good thing. Alright, so these are going to be our power modules, and we also will need our storage modules. And so for storage modules, there are like a lot of different things we can do. So like I said, we can definitely use the segment grinders, and we can put a bunch of these containers. We can have our pressure tanks surrounding them. We can have our supply boxes, all of that. Building one of the trunks. That's a weird request. Alright, sorry, but I'm just gonna ignore that. All right. Yeah. So like I was saying, we could have this like design with these pressure tanks and these supply boxes surrounding these segment grinders, but it's gonna be kind of hard to manage. And I think there's like a better option. I think if we go to payload, we have these like cargo containers, which are these big, large boxes which can carry a ton of different stuff. And they can carry ore, they can carry... Oh, wait, dude. Yeah, they can carry a lot of different resources. For example, they can carry water, foods, or just general supplies. Yeah, and we're gonna set them to supplies. We can have just this like big module with supplies. Virtually, we can't color mark them. That would have been kind of cool. But yeah, you can just put a bunch of these to the sides. Damn it, I rotated two parts. Let me see. Gonna need a few docking ports here. Just like that. And we can just slam them somewhere there. Just like that. Yeah, that looks decently-ish. Who am I kidding? That looks ugly. You know what? You know what? Fine. I think it's beneficial to just kind of... I'm just trying to think how I want to design this so it's just going to be sustainable. I like these cargo containers in that they have like food and water in them, which is kind of cool. But this also becomes a bit of an issue in that I also want to store waste for now. So actually, you know what? Let's research these smaller ones and we'll use the smaller ones for now. So we'll have one of them be a supply and one of them be a waste. Okay, so one supply, one waste. Great. And that's gonna be like our small module for supplies and waste at the same time, all contained within reasonable space here. And what we can also do is we can just, like I said, the problem with this setup is that it can carry only food and water, or just general waste. By the way, can it do, like, sure it can carry waste, but can it carry water? Like wastewater? I don't think it can. Damn it, I don't think it can carry wastewater, which is a bit of a problem, because you kind of need to carry wastewater. Like, with the normal supply boxes, you can, yeah, you can have, like, sewage, which is, like, both waste and wastewater. It's actually kind of weird that it can carry food and water, but, like, not wastewater. No, you can't carry that for reasons. That's annoying. Alright. So if we're gonna be using these, we run into the problem where we can't have sewage, proper sewage, and also we will have to have these like separate tanks of oxygen that we'll put there. And because this this cargo container is a bit of a weird shape, it's also we'll either have to clip these a lot into to just stop these from floating, or we'll have to have the other ones floating, which is really weird. I don't like that. Yeah, you know what? Let's forget about containers. You know what? I think it's good to use the certain segment grinders. I think it's fine. And we can have these like different modules. We can have one, for example, for food and water, and another one for sewage, just like that. And let's also mark it. One for sewage, one for water. Yeah, that's looking pretty solid. Oh, You can insulate it? What does that do? That's kind of weird. Let me check that out. Haven't actually seen that. You can just have a normal truss and you have an insulated truss, which does really nothing, but I guess it looks cool. Okay. Style-wise, doesn't really matter. Okay, so we can have this, but we also need to store a bunch of oxygen. And we can put tanks just like that. Yeah, that's actually looking really sick. I'm actually really enjoying this segment grinder design. Yeah, look, that's like a very nice containment module. And we can have the one of these be nitrogen, or rather, one of them oxygen. One of them will be CO2. No, red is for hydrogen reserves. Yeah, you know what? Let's put it like that. One of them will be hydrogen. Also, by the way, another advantage that I haven't talked about for these modular designs is that if you have these like standardized-ish modules, you will always know what each module has, and you will always know what to expect from every single one of your modules. So you can always easily find, because there's not a lot of color coding available. Unfortunately, the options are quite limited. You can't just paint any color. I mean, I think I should get a mod for that. I think there should be a mod. But for now, even if you have color coding, it's just always nice to have these standardized modules where you always know what exactly is placed everywhere. So yeah, that's how you can do it. And like I was saying, we're gonna have one for oxygen, one for CO2, and we also need one for nitrogen to be able to recreate our nice atmosphere within the command pods. Okay, let's place it somewhere in the middle, just like that. Yeah, and this actually looks like a reasonable supply module. Yeah, you can attach it to a space station and you will have a bunch of resources. Actually, you know what? I kind of like these insulated trusses because they, especially with the supply modules that we're building right now, they kind of fit in quite nicely. Also, let's put a docking node here. And yeah, there we go. That is one of our modules. And we can actually build one module on top of the other. That's definitely going to be an option for us. Just put one here and another one here. Look at that. We are building our modular space station. Yoo-hoo! And it'll also put the solar panel slightly further out, which is definitely a nice bonus to have. Alright, I'm actually kind of liking this design right now. This is looking pretty good. Okay, let's name it appropriately. And yeah, I think this looks like a decent space station design. Okay, so we have covered supplies. We have covered our electric considerations. We have covered thermals, because I mean, we don't really need a bunch of thermals. I mean, if we absolutely have to, we can put a bunch of radiator panels, but we just don't really need them for now. We don't even have stuff that produces heat. And not like this space station is gonna go anywhere close to the sun for now. So yeah, I think in terms of actually, in terms of heat design, we don't have to do anything. And as for communication, yeah, let's talk about communication. So here's the thing, the biggest, baddest antenna that we have is this bad boy, which has decently high connection speed, but doesn't have a lot of range. It's like only 200 megameters. There's like not a lot. I think we have more powerful antennas available to us right now. So this is like, again, 200 megameters. I think there was, or am I mistaken? Yeah, I think I'm mistaken. Yeah, we haven't researched it yet. Wait, let me go back to the R&D facility, because I was pretty sure that we have another one, or did I think it's just in the next research node? Am I missing something here? Help me out. Damn, it's loading for a long time. Oh, the weight. Yeah, I think we had one of these. Yeah, look at that. We have a relay antenna in series. Let's purchase it. Looking pretty good. Oh, it's just really cheap for some reason. I wonder, why is it that cheap? It has very good range. Like, suspiciously good range. It's actually kind of weird. Yeah, there it is. There's our super duper powerful antenna. Oh, because it has a very, very narrow cone angle. Yeah, so it's okay for like long range communications, but it has such a small cone angle. You basically have to like perfectly aim it at a specific target, and also it's pretty damn big. Let me check the size here. Yeah, so this antenna is definitely one of those that you just kind of deploy, and boy is it ever big. Yeah, this is definitely interplanetary level. By the way, how far can Eve get? Like, if we're gonna be making a mission to Eve, just how long do we need to account for? Just want to check that. Let's go to the tracking station. Okay, so Kerbin itself, like if we go into this zoom, we can see that Eve is 9 gigameters away from Sol. So if Eve is theoretically on the other side, so we've got the Kerbin, which is at 13 gigameters, and Eve at another 9 gigameters in the other direction. So that's 9 plus 13, I can't count, that's 22 billion meters. Damn, that's kind of a long range. 22 billion meters away. Yeah, that's gonna be really hard to have any communication with that. I mean, what's our antenna range? Although I think it's actually pretty strong. I think it's like 75 gigameters. Let me check that once again. Communication. Yeah, it's 75 gigameters, which is 75 billion meters. So we definitely, this relay antenna can actually sustain communication to another planet. So it actually can launch a mission to Eve. Wow, didn't think so. But here's the thing. It's definitely not an antenna that you want to have on a space station, and I'll explain to you why. The reason for that is because these space stations that I'm building right now, they will be in low orbit, like really low orbit, which means that they will be obstructed by Kerbin for a significant amount of time. What you want is to have these antennas on a relay satellite that's going to be in a very high orbit of Kerbin, preferably even like a polar orbit, so that the the chances that when you actually need to have a transmission that is going to be blocked by Kerbin are like near zero. They're not precisely zero, but they're like really close. And even if that is theoretically the case, you can just have two of them rotating like on the other sides. And we will build such a satellite. And for that reason, I'm not gonna put such a powerful antenna there because there's just no need to do that. I would much rather have like these shorter range antennas, which will just give me just enough coverage. And like for a space station, I'm actually thinking about more communication speed. That's kind of important. So the fastest antenna that we have is this at 75 kilobits per second. Unfortunately, that antenna it's just dumb because it doesn't have a lot of range. It does have a decent cone angle, by the way. That's actually kind of cool. It has a decent cone angle, but I don't really like it because even though it does have a decent cone angle, it just has so much drag. It's just really a pain in the ass to launch. It just really is super annoying. So we can have these smaller antennas, but the problem with this antenna, for example, is, yeah, it's pretty damn solid, but it still has rather narrow cone angle. I'd rather right now use antennas which have decent cone angles. I mean, this one's pretty good, 45 degrees, this one's 45 degrees. I mean, yeah, 90 degrees, it can't be beaten, but it's also kind of annoying to manage. Although it is so nice, I mean, kind of like it really a lot. Oh, we can actually use the smaller one, it still has 90 degrees. I mean, 90 degrees is kind of cool. We can also have these phased relay antennas. I mean, I don't know why it says they're 90 degrees. It should have like 180 at least. I mean, phased array antennas are really cool. But for now, I think that's the best we're gonna get. Definitely want to have a bunch of these omni-range antennas. I'm just gonna put a bunch of them just so that we will have all of the communication that we want within like the Kerbin sphere of influence. I mean, near Kerbin. This is just gonna take account for all communication needs near Kerbin. And then I'm gonna add a bunch of these more powerful antennas. The problem is that to launch these antennas, they're kind of annoying to launch because you kind of have to launch them in a payload bay, or you have to launch them in like just some kind of payload bay. It can be a fairing if you want. Otherwise, they will just have so much drag that no vehicle can just fly with them. They're just so bad. The question is, can we put them to cargo? Oh, yes, we can. I mean, yeah. If we can launch them within cargo, then definitely let's go do that. Although, damn, look at how big they are. I mean, we can launch just one with the entire mobile processing lab. Jesus Christ, these are annoying. But the cool part is that because our space station, by its nature, it will have a lot of electric production, we can afford ourselves one of these antennas, because these antennas require a lot of electric charge, and that's especially annoying when you are in low orbit, because like for a relay satellite that is in high orbit of Kerbin, that's not that big of an issue, because it's gonna have like literally just 10 minutes of blackout time. That's not gonna be a problem. Like, and even then, 10 minutes is probably a bit of an overkill. Probably gonna be like a minute or two. And then you can just slap a bunch of batteries and that's it, you're covered. For a low orbit satellite, that's a lot more problematic. because you just need to have that electric oomph to just continue providing power to that antenna all that time. And for these reasons, yeah, definitely putting one of these antennas would give our space station absolutely insane capabilities connection-wise. We can point one of them just to Minmus, and that'll take care of all our communication problems with Minmus forever. The problem is that, yeah, they're kind of hard to carry, but they do look like very, very solid antennas. Although, if you are going to be connecting towards Minmus, if you want to have like an antenna that's just pointing to Minmus, yes, this will do the trick, and it also has a very good cone angle, so it'll also be able to target pretty much all vessels that are going towards Minmus or are near it within like a long range. The problem is, like, maybe it's better to just have a slightly smaller, more direct antenna. But no, I actually think, no, I like the design, that design of like large cone angle antennas. Also, even though this antenna is technically decently powerful, you have to account for the fact that there's a decent chance that other antennas that you will have on the probe that you're controlling, they might not be as powerful. And that's the reason why having these bigger antennas might be beneficial, to just kind of provide more power than you actually need in order to still connect to a long-range satellite that's just somewhere there. By the way, for that reason, I'm actually starting to consider more and more just putting one of these huge-ass antennas. I mean, I think I'm just spending way too much time on antenna design here, but it is important to just set it up correctly. Yeah, you know what? Pointing one of these more targeted relay antennas, that's definitely going to provide us with a lot of connection speed, and also that extra connection power that can still be used to connect to those like small satellites which are somewhere in orbit of Minmus or someplace else. You know what? I think we can just put a bunch of these high gain antennas. Just put a bunch of them there. And we'll use these to provide a lot of connection. We'll just make a hub of our space station. We'll point them in different directions, and that'll provide us with a lot of coverage in pretty much almost every direction. And also we'll have these mobile in the mobile processing lab, we'll have one of these big antennas for extra long-range communications. Yeah, I think that's fine. Although I'm kind of tempted to take this antenna as well. It is kind of expensive though. But you know what? We have the funds. You know, let's see. And oh my god, it's so big. Yeah, it's definitely not gonna fit there. But you can put it just like that. Yoink. Alright, yeah. I'm not entirely sure that we can place it here right now. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big antenna. It's fine for like a satellite, but yeah, you know what? Let's stick to these high gain antennas for short range communications, and for long range communication we have this beast that'll be able to send straight to Minmus. It's looking pretty good. Although I would like to carry like more antennas with like the same design. I am kind of annoyed that we're gonna have different types of antenna, and if one of them fails, it's gonna be really annoying. But you know what? Antennas are not that big of an issue. We can always just punch more of them. It's not that big of an issue. What I do want is to have powerful omnidirectional antennas, just to kind of provide a lot of range within near near the space station. Yeah, just put a bunch of them like that. Adding more antennas doesn't linearly increase your power. There's a trade back. I think it's like 90%. I have the setting on 90%. So yeah, you can't just add infinitely many and have infinitely many connections. It'll still degrade, but you can add a bunch and still have like that little bit of extra communication. Alright, I think this is actually it. So we've covered communication, science, well, I mean, science is not much of a concern for a space station right now. In terms of like cargo and everything, yeah, I think we've got pretty much everything set up. Oh, by the way, let's just shove in a bunch of repair kits. That's definitely something that you want to carry around. Okay, let me just put a bunch of these somewhere here. Yeah, you know what? For like a theoretical concept design, I think this is a decent blueprint. Yeah, and we're gonna launch a bunch of these, like one near Kerbin, one near Mun, one near Minmus. We're gonna have a bunch of these launches, which will be very similar to each other. But that's actually a good thing. The more your launch, the more you reuse your rockets, the more it's just how do I say that? The more you reuse your rockets, the more it indicates that you know what you're doing, and in long term, it starts saving you a lot of time. Because in terms of playing KSP, half of the time you're gonna be flying the rockets and doing that kind of stuff, but like actually half of the time of your KSP playthroughs you will be just building rockets. And building rockets, just spending that little bit extra to reuse them will allow you to, for example, if we need to build 3 space stations, one near Mun, one near Minmus, one near Kerbin, damn, we can just launch 3 space stations with one design. And we don't have to design each space station all over again, which is really, really cool. But for now, I think, yeah, this is good enough a design. And like I said, I'm not going to launch it today because, well, the stream is already way too long. So I guess I'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you, I think, next Saturday around 7 o'clock UTC1 in the evening. And hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.